Hey guys, this is Lauren Pappas here with special guest of GameX, Toby Abad, and I'm saying that right?
Absolutely.
Okay, and it's super nice to be here with you today, especially because you are a special featured guest, and you wrote this book, which is actually a game called A Single Moment, which
hmm
you guys should check out because it's really cool. And you do so many awesome things, but you are a game
Designer.
designer.
Yes. On my day job, I am a mobile game designer for a company called Indigo Entertainment. We have lots of clients. Can't say who they are, but yeah, we work on various mobile games, whether it's for the mobile device or for desktop. But when I'm not doing that, I'm also doing a lot of other tabletop games. That's board games, card games, and role-playing games such as this. And I guess that landed me a spot as a special guest.
Wow. Well, that's pretty impressive. So talk about your book here, A Single Moment, this game. What is it? What's it all about?
So a single moment is a two-player GM-less game, and GM-less means, for example, you and I can literally play this without needing a third person to help moderate it. It focuses on two people who have some sort of rivalry. Usually, it starts with samurai, and the way the game works is it starts in the end. Imagine the two people are now facing each other for that final fight. But then the game stops, and we go through flashbacks explaining how they got to that single moment. The game is designed that you can actually play it with different genres. So it can be like a revenge school flick where it's, the mean girl and the nerdy girl finally having that confrontation at prom night. Or it can be like a sci-fi epic where it's, like Luke versus Darth Vader finally having that final showdown. So it's made to be that flexible. And admittedly, I made this because there were just too many nights when your friends don't show up and there's that one friend who does, and the two of you are like, so what do we do now?
So that sounds so cool, and you totally had me at. It starts at the end, and then you do the flashbacks. Like that's so neat. So do you need any pieces or cards or any sort of elements like that, or is it just all verbal?
Well, the book comes up with cards, as you can see here. I prefer you photocopy or print them out. Do not cut your books. But they allow you to randomly choose the cards which help, shall we say, color the scene you're in. So, like for samurai, you have the different bushido virtues. But if let's say you're playing a rom com, so it's a love story and it's about the two people finally meeting for that moment where they admit they love each other, then the cards might be the first meeting, the first fight, the promise made, um, the first act of betrayal because the guy suddenly seeing the ex-girlfriend and you're like, I thought we were together. And it's that sort of thing. It also uses six-sided dice, which is pretty common. Anyone can find that in bookstores and the like. But other than that, it's pretty much run from the book.
So it sounds almost like it has therapeutic value, like some sort of. It's very psychological.
Well, I think most role-playing games have that since even role-playing is used in therapy. Like if you lost someone or someone important, the therapist would be like, okay, imagine you're back with that person, remember the happy moments. And it's pretty much like a role-playing game. Only in role-playing games, the concept tends to be something more fictional, like you're a princess, or you're a intergalactic pirate, or you're a bioengineered cyber assassin. But the idea of placing yourself in the shoes of someone else and then visualizing what you might do, it kind of hits those spots.
Very interesting. Now I want to play it. Now you
I
got
hope you
me
do.
all into this. So what is the scene like in Manila, where you're from, in the Philippines for gaming?
Well, gaming is steadily growing. Um, while role playing games is still okay, back in the 80s, because I'm actually 40 and it might not show.
What? No way. You look like you're 20.
1977. But yes,
Crazy.
I am 40 years old. Asians look young.
Good
um,
genes.
in the 80s, role playing games was pretty popular, but we were greatly affected when the 700 Club, can I say that? Started their campaign against role playing games, calling it satanic and evil. So there were scenes of books being burned and people being told, you can't play that because that's evil, that's the devil. It's only nowadays that the resurgence is starting again, and a large part of what's making it popular and accessible, they're called board game cafes. I don't know if you have those here in the United States.
Not that I know of. That sounds really cool.
They're restaurants or coffee shops that are filled with board games, and while you're there to eat, you can just grab any game and play. So it's sort of like here you have board game shops, right? And then sometimes they have tables and you can play outside. In the Philippines, you can literally show up with your friends, order a pizza, all of you get milkshakes, and then just grab any board game and play, and you can stay there as long as you want. So these places have become avenues for people to try a lot of new things, and many role-playing organizations are even hosting events in these cafes. So it's a nice way to try stuff, especially since you don't have to buy them to try them. You just have to eat.
That sounds like so much fun. I really love that. And being here today is making me nostalgic from when I was little, because we usually just play board games when we're little and then we stop playing them. But
Like 10 years ago, because for me that's like 30 years ago.
yeah, exactly 10 years ago. But there's so many life lessons, within each game, and I definitely sounds like there's a lot in yours, therapeutic value and just making you have a different stream of thinking, use a different part of your brain, which is really important. So Toby, it was so awesome talking to you. Where can we learn more about you and follow you and keep up with all your adventures and new inventions?
Online, so I have a website called Tag Sessions. That's tagsessions.blogspot.com. Tag Sessions, the name of the company, is actually, it started as a joke. People used to joke around that if they played under me, they survived a Toby Abad game. So like, I played the Toby Abad game, I survived the Toby Abad game. So it started to become a TA game. So Toby Abad game sessions. So Tag Sessions. That's what started as the name. I'm also on Twitter, and you can find me at all Toby No Shade. And Facebook has a group dedicated to Tag Sessions. So those are the places you can find me online. And I do love hearing from people who are kind enough to tell me whether they love or hate my game. And there are people who hate my game. But, feedback's always nice because it means what you're doing is being noticed.
That is so important. It's awesome that you're open to that, because that's, how you're gonna perfect and you want to reach your audience and connect with them. So that's just so cool. So thank you for being open, and we love chatting with you today, and we'll catch up with you again soon. Maybe in the Philippines. Maybe we'll make a trip out there. I'd love that.
Interesting single.
I could use that tropical environment for a while, a little break. All right. Thank you guys.